Okay, so today we're going to talk about policies and procedures. Yeah, I know they're not exactly the stuff of design conferences or portfolio showpieces, but when it comes to influencing your organization at scale, they're one of the most powerful tools you've got. In fact, if you do nothing else from this entire course, implementing even a handful of UX policies will make your life easier, your decisions more defendable, and your stakeholders more cooperative. And let me explain why. Policies give you a way to shape behavior without having to show up at every meeting or take part in every fight and every battle over absolutely everything. They're like pre agreed rules of engagement and help avoid awkward conversations or power struggles. Without them, every decision becomes a negotiation. But with them, you shift from arguing your opinion to simply pointing out that shared expectation. Here's why they're so effective. First of all, they're one step removed. Policies let you avoid head-to-head conflicts. You're not saying no, the policy is. They're also not personal. They remove emotion from the decision. It's not about you, it's about following a standard. And they demonstrate professionalism. Having documented policies signal maturity and reliability. You're not just winging it. Not all policies are created equal, however. Some you can just go ahead and implement today, while others you'll need broader buy-in. And this is how you tell them apart. Now, first of all, there's working policies. These are policies about how you work, your own internal guidelines and expectations. And you don't need permission from the wider organization to adopt these. You just need the support of your line manager. And these might include how stakeholders request work from you, what project stages you follow, e.g. discovery, prototyping, testing, etc. Or what kinds of research and testing you always include, or how feedback is gathered, resolved or escalated, and what stakeholder involvement looks like. For example, is there a mandatory need for people to participate in user research? These help you define the boundaries of your work and manage expectations, especially when requests come flying in from all directions. And then there is organizational policies. These affect others more directly, and so you'll need buy-in from leadership or cross-functional teams to adopt them. And they could include things like minimum UX testing before a product release, or content rules or accessibility standards, or who gets to make design decisions and on what basis, the prioritization for the UX improvements you could make, and research or compliance requirements. And yes, these do take longer to get approved, but they provide long-term benefits because they embed UX best practice that lasts beyond your team. Policies don't need to be long. In fact, the best ones are short, sharp, and based on logic that everyone can follow. A simple if-then statement works beautifully. For example, if a stakeholder hasn't observed user research in the past 6 weeks, they cannot act as a primary decision maker for the project. And that's an actual policy used by the UK Government Digital Service. It's clear, it's fair, and it's easy to enforce. Once you've drafted something in plain language, you can always use ChatGPT or a similar tool to polish it into more formal language if needed. Don't let perfection get in the way of progress. Even a rough Google Doc with 3 to 5 working policies is a great start. If you're a freelancer or run an agency, you might think policies all sound a bit bureaucratic, but they can be a lifesaver, especially when dealing with clients who want everything yesterday and expect UX magic on demand. Try developing your own internal working policies, like what you require from your clients before starting work, e.g. user interviews or existing data, or your policies for revisions and testing. These can help you stay focused and reduce friction. You can also use policies to educate clients subtly. Add a policy to your proposal or onboarding docs that say something like, all new features must undergo at least 1 round of usability testing before release. It's not a demand, it's simply how you work. And it positions you as an expert, not just a designer for hire. So I'd encourage you to pick one area of friction in your work. Maybe it's rushed feedback or a lack of research, and write a working policy for it. Keep it simple. A simple if-then statement is your friend. And if you create something like that, drop me an email to paul@boagworld.com. I'd love to see what you come up with. In the next lesson, we're going to look at probably the most powerful policy of them all, which is how to prioritize your work. It's one of the most powerful ways to stop reactive work and start becoming more strategic in your UX efforts.